Yo, Kpaceguy here. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Good to see ya. Good to see ya. So, I have a really cool video for you guys. So, Dynasty Proaudio have sent me something to review for you guys. So, it's not Dyne Audio, but Dynasty Proaudio. What I have in my hand are wireless adapters, wireless transmitters. And these are supposed to plug up to subwoofers, they're supposed to plug up to powered speakers, surround sound, anything like that, home theater of all sorts, DJ, mixing, whatever you have that uses RCAs that are powered, these are supposed to connect to. So if you guys are familiar, I made a video called the SVS Soundpath wireless adapters that I have for my subwoofers. Dynasty Proaudio claims that these are better than those. This is the Dynasty Proaudio WSA5 TR. So what we're going to do is we're going to unbox this for the first time. I know nothing about this at all. I'll let you guys see it. I know nothing about these whatsoever. So we're going to unbox them together for the first time. We're going to see how easy they are to set up, unbiased review, and we're going to compare them directly to the SVS Soundpath wireless adapters that I have currently with my subwoofer. We're going to compare them and we're going to decide if they're better than the SVS or not. And possibly, maybe you can give them away. No, I might actually keep them depending on how good they are, so we'll see. But in this video, we're going to go head-to-head against the SVS Soundpath Wireless and see which one's better. Now, I don't have any pricing on this yet. I'll have to get in contact to see how much these are going for. But I'm actually really interested to see what they're about, so let's get into it. Alright guys, so we're going to unbox this for the first time. I have no information on this, no manual, no idea what to expect, so this is going to be the first time for both you and I. So this is the packaging that it comes in with, Dynasty Proaudio 5.8G wireless home theater subwoofer slash surround speaker kit. So you're going to be able to use it for your subs, with your powered speakers, everything that I mentioned earlier before. So the packaging is pretty decent, nothing special. We're going to open it this way. So here's what we start off with. Looks like these are the adapters themselves. So right here, let me move this box out of the way for some more space. So right here, we have both the receiver and the transmitter. So we'll start with this guy right here, get it in focus for you guys. So right here is Dynasty Proaudio, has on the label here. It's completely made out of hard plastic. It does have a mounting key, so that if you want to mount this on a wall, you can do that. I'm not sure why you'd want to, but you can. You can probably hook this with some 3M picture frame tape. It would stick up there just fine. It's really, really light, probably under a pound. So right here is your power. This is going to be your standard 3.5, or excuse me, 3.5. This is going to be your micro USB here that you use for any other phone or tablet or something like that. Then you have your right and your left. That's going to be for the inputs here. So this is going to be there's a receiver here, and this button right here is probably for pairing it with the transmitter. So self-explanatory, pretty self-explanatory. What I do like is the nice blue light here. I hope it does not shine as bright as the LED on the SVS Soundpath Wireless. That light is so annoying and so obtrusive, but I'm hoping this one isn't as bright. So that's going to be the transmitter. This is going to be the receiver. This is going to be the end that takes the signal from the transmitter. If I get the focus for you guys, it's trying to, but doesn't want to. But this is going to be the transmitter here, and it's going to receive the information. So it's going to look just like the other one. So you have your power there, you have your pairing button there, and then your right and your left. So what I'm really interested in is, I know with SVS, they paired automatically. So once you plugged one in and you plug the other one in, they automatically paired with each other. So I'm hoping that these do the same thing as well, that I don't have to press that button and get them synced. I know that when you plugged in the SVS, they pair automatically. They talk to each other. As soon as you plug them in, you can connect them both together. So hopefully this one does the same thing. But it does have rubberized feet on the bottom. So if you are going to put this on top of a speaker or on top of a desk or entertainment center, you're going to have no problem with this staying in place, especially on a subwoofer, because a lot of people who connect these with a subwoofer are going to want to put it on top of the subwoofer as well. So it needs to stay there if your subwoofer is going to rattle or move around a lot. So if it does have any vibration underneath it, it is going to sit in place there. So that's really nice. But it is made of hard plastic. I'm interested to see if this logo right here glows. I'm pretty sure it doesn't, but if it does, I won't be happy with that. We don't need these things lighting up at all. It's going to be obtrusive. So hopefully just that LED in the front lights up and it's not too bright. So let's see what else is inside the box. So opening up the box, I'm sure just underneath that's going to be all the cables you need to connect this, as well as the manual. So we'll take all that out here and see what's inside. Alright, so that's everything that's in the box there. So you're greeted with your RCA cables. They do give you a pair of RCA cables here. It looks to be less than 3 feet. It looks like a foot. So let's untangle this here. So you're getting a foot. This is going to connect from your receiver or your amplifier or whatever you're going to be pairing it to. It's going to connect from there, and then the other end will connect to the receiver or the transmitter itself. So this end will go into a receiver, a speaker, whatever you have that you're going to be using. This is the input. So it's going to go into your receiver, going to go into if you have a preprocessor, whatever you have. This is what's going to, whatever your music source is, that's what end this goes into, and this end is going to be the transmitter. So you'll probably have this in the closet next to your receiver, or you may have it tucked away behind your receiver or next to it. Wherever you're going to have it at, that's where this one will go. And then you have another set of RCA cables. This is going to connect from the transmitter or the receiver to the subwoofer or powered speaker or whatever. So one end will be connected from your receiver, one end will go to your subwoofer or speaker or whatever you're gonna have it connected to. So don't need your cables to be too long, so that's good. It's just long enough for you to be able to connect it, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfect enough. Nothing special about the RCA cables, they're just standard, so they're not gold plated or anything like that, which I don't think you really need at all. They're gonna do the job. So I wonder what the range is for this thing too. So we're gonna go through and see what else we have in the package here. So we'll set that off to the side. So here we have our 2 power cables. Now these are both USB to micro USB here. So it has the prongs there. I'm not sure if I can get the focus for you guys, but it has the teeth there. So that's how you're going to connect these two. So one end is going to go to these power bricks that they provide you with, which was actually very nice. So I'm not sure that SVS gave you a power brick. I don't think they did. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've reviewed them, but I don't think the SVS gave you a power brick. But you get 2 power bricks, so you don't have to go looking for a USB port or another power brick from your home. You do get 2 in the box, one for one receiver and one for the transmitter. So that is super nice. And it's also made of a flat cable. So if you guys are familiar with flat cables, they are really good at not getting tangled, and they're really good under stress. So if you are somebody who moves their system around a lot, or likes to pull and tug or whatever, it's going to be pretty durable. It's thin and flat, so if you have to keep it concealed, don't want any wires to be showing, it's going to be perfect for that, and you can kind of roll it back up in a ball and it should be fine. So it's just your standard cable. So if you need a longer length, this one looks to be 3 feet in length. So if you need a longer length, it's compatible with anything that uses a micro USB, but this one should be long enough for your needs here. So it's 3 feet, which I think is the same for the SVS one. It's 3 feet. I found myself needing a longer one sometimes. About 6 feet is what I needed. That was perfect for me. But 3 feet is what they give you here, and that should be enough for most people, depending on how far away you're going to put this. But I do know there's some times where you need a 6-foot one. Unfortunately, they don't have that option for you. But if you have one at home now, or have the means of picking one up, you can get one, no problem. It'll work just fine. Alright guys, so what I want to do really quickly before we test these out, I want to talk about these just slightly so you kind of know what you're getting into. So I'm going to tell you about some of the specifications that I'm aware of. So these are 5.8 gigahertz transmitter frequencies. They're digital uncompressed bidirectional adaptive FHSS. So that's the kind of audio transmission they have, and their range is up to 100 feet as long as they're in line of sight with each other. So as long as they can see each other within 100 feet, they can transmit that far, which is actually really, really good. But their max feet, if you're going to have them kind of hidden behind something or through a wall, is 50 feet. So if you're going to have one of these in a cabinet or a closet or entertainment center and the other one's farther away from that, you're going to have some issues with it if it's going to range from farther than 50 feet. So it's actually not too bad. 50 feet is pretty long for any room. So having that far away shouldn't be an issue. So these should be pretty good from any distance. You shouldn't really have them 100 feet away, but if you do, you have the ability to have a line of sight. Now, having a line of sight of 100 feet is pretty far, probably pretty hard to do, but you have 50 feet at least between wall to wall. So if you have one out in the open and then have one behind a wall, you should be okay. If you have both behind the wall, then it might be a little bit shorter on distance, but we'll have to test that out. So they don't recommend you putting it behind the wall anyway, just to get the maximum range and the best, you know, communication between the two. So we'll have to see which one works out the best. So their frequency response is at 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Now, this is not an issue for some, but an issue for maybe me. So my SVS subwoofers are what I would use these for. And of course, we all know my subwoofers get down below 20 hertz convincingly. So if I was to use these transmitters with my subwoofers, it caps my sub at 20 hertz. It cannot transmit any signal lower than that. And that's an issue because, of course, my subwoofers get down to 13 hertz, I believe, around that area, and I don't want them to be cut off lower than that. So at 20 hertz, I think that's just too low if you're going to use them for a subwoofer. Now, if you're using them for a home theater application, like a surround sound or a bookshelf or a powered speaker, 20 hertz should be sufficient. But if you're using for a subwoofer that digs below 20 hertz, you may not want to get these ones. So the SVS gets down to 5 hertz. So the SVS does better in regards of frequency response, but everything else is the same. So the signal to noise ratio is 80 dBs, which I believe the SVS is better at signal to noise ratio as well. But everything else seems to be the same. So you get 90 dBs of channel separation, so that's pretty good. They seem to be pretty basic, pretty standard. So let's go ahead and get them plugged up to my Fluence AI60s. Those are my bookshelf speakers. We're gonna pair them to those, and let's see how they sound and how they fare. Okay, so the instructions say that they do pair automatically, which wasn't my case. I didn't get them to pair automatically. So it says all I need to do is hold the M button down on the back for 5 seconds on both. So let's do that. It says it'll flash for a moment. Now I'm holding the M button on the other. There we go, so we're paired. So it didn't work right out of the box in my case, but I did pair it up pretty quickly. So you can see there's a solid, I'll turn the brightness down, there's a solid blue light now that it's showing that it's paired. So if it's blinking ever so steadily, then that it's not paired. If you press the M button down for 5 seconds, it had a double flash, and then you can pair it with the other one. So that was pretty quick and simple, no problem there. So worked out fine. So what I'm gonna do now, guys, we're gonna test the audio signal. We're gonna test the sound out now and see how it sounds. So I don't have my receiver. If you guys are familiar with my channel, we all know that I'm getting a new Marantz AV processor, so I don't have my receiver to demo these with. So what we're gonna do instead is I have my phone with me somewhere, and we're gonna plug my phone straight up to the transmitters here, and we're gonna play audio through my AI60s with my transmitter and receiver from Dynasty Audio. So we're gonna see how good these things actually sound. All right, so we have the Proaudio versions, the transmitter receivers, Dynasty Proaudios. We have those hooked up to the Fluences right now. I also brought out my SVS Soundpath ones. We're gonna do an A/B testing right now. So Dynasty Proaudio says that these are the better ones out of the two. They came out right out and said they think these are better than SVS. So what we're gonna do is put them head to head right now. So I have them each hooked up. We're gonna do some A/B switching. So right now, up first, we're gonna do Dynasty Audio, and then we're gonna switch to the Soundpath wireless from SVS, and we're gonna listen to which one's better. I've heard a little bit about it, and I kind of have an idea, but of course, I'm gonna let you guys listen to it yourselves to try to get the best representation you can out of YouTube. Take it for a grain of salt, but I'll let you know what I think about them both at the end. So right up first, we're gonna play some Dynasty Audio, Dynasty Proaudio. Here we go. Alright guys, so I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. I'm not an SVS affiliate, I'm not a Dynasty Audio affiliate, so everything I'm gonna say is completely based off this demo right here. This is the first time that I've heard the Dynasty Proaudio transmitter receiver kind of combination here. The first time, so nothing's gonna be biased, no brand specific kind of fanboy, anything like that. So I'm gonna tell you exactly what I think about these. So first off, the Dynasty Proaudio transmitter, the wireless transmitter, sounds really, really good. I had a hard time. I had to close my eyes and sit there and really try to feel and think and hear the differences between the two, because you're going to be hard pressed to find any differences. Just to be honest, you're going to be hard pressed to find the differences. Now, one thing that keeps me leaning towards the Dynasty Proaudios is the 5.8 gigahertz transmitter. Now, SVS is using a 2.4 gigahertz, so that kind of, they say that there's less traffic, less congestion, less latency between your audio and what you're seeing on the TV if you're listening to a home theater. So if you're going to use these as subwoofers, adapters, or you're going to use them as front, left and right speaker, power speakers, whatever you want to do, if you're going to use them for that, these are going to send that signal just a little bit faster from the source to the speakers to your ear, so you're going to have less latency, and that really plays a part when it comes to home theater, because whatever you see on the screen has to match with what you're going to hear. So that's super important. These do have a 5.8 gigahertz transmission. This does not. It's 2.4 gigahertz. So take it what you will. It's just something I have to point out to you guys. What I really like about Dynasty Proaudios versus the SVS Soundpaths is the fact that I'm already equipped with right and left on the transmitter and receiver. On these, you're gonna have an adapter to run it to. So I think it comes with left and right adapter if you're gonna use these for different applications other than subwoofers, but I feel that these were more geared for subwoofers. I think when SVS made theirs, they were thinking more for the subwoofer. More people were gonna buy this for wireless subs. And you can kind of tell that by the 3.5mm jack that they have included in both the receiver and the transmitter. Now you can use these for powered speakers if you want to, but I think they were geared more towards the subwoofer enthusiasts. Now with that being said, the Dynasty Proaudios, they don't get as low, so you're capped at 20 hertz. And I actually could tell that in my demo here with these Fluon speakers. There was just a little bit more bass coming through with the Soundpath wireless than there was with the Dynasty Proaudios. And that's okay when it comes to speakers, powered speakers, surround sound applications, but when it comes to subwoofers, you're gonna want the SVS Pro, or excuse me, mixing them up. The SVS Soundpath, you really want these when it comes to subwoofers because it's gonna dig down to below human hearing, and you really want that. My subwoofers, again, they get down in the teens as far as frequency response goes. I do not want to limit them whatsoever in getting down there, and these are going to do that. So I definitely will take the SVS for the subwoofer enthusiasts. One thing that's going to be key for me to say is going to be the distance that you can use these with. So these have a max range of 100 feet, and they have 50 feet through a wall. I believe these are around 60 feet, something like that. Nonetheless, they're a good fraction less than the Dynasty Proaudios. And I actually have a lot of trouble keeping mine connected. So I have one of them, I have my receiver set on top of the subwoofer, and then I have my transmitter outside on the floor here, hidden away. It's not obtrusive by anything. There's nothing blocking its view from one to another. It's not behind a wall, it's not in a cabinet, it's not in my closet behind me. It's actually out in plain sight. And I constantly lose signal with these. It's not terrible, but it's noticeable. They kind of flash every now and then whenever they're disconnected, and they're in line of sight, and they're within about 20 feet of each other. With these have a 100-foot range within sight of each other and 50 feet behind a wall. So I'm really interested to test these out later on in the future video of how well they do that, because I could really benefit from the distance that these have, because the SVS just doesn't seem to do well if it's literally not in sight. If there's anything blocking it, even in the slightest, you may have some issues with that. And I just can't have that when I'm trying to hide my wires and cables. I do not want to have to worry about my signal being dropped. So these are just the small things that I'm finding with the Soundpath versus the Dynasty Proaudios. I think they're both fantastic. Honestly, if I'm going to be using a surround sound application, if I'm going to be using them for powered bookshelves, Dynasty Proaudio is the way to go. I'm okay with the 20 hertz cap. Most receivers and amplifiers don't get lower than that anyway. So this is going to be okay. But if you're using a subwoofer and you have a powerful subwoofer that gets below 20 hertz, I think SVS is the way to go. I wish that this was smaller and not white. That's one of my big things about it. Most people's electronics and speakers are going to be black. That's just a common color. A lot of people's furniture is black. These are white, obviously. You can probably paint these and be okay with that. I'm not sure if painting would probably block the transmission, the signal. I wouldn't paint them or anything like that, but I mean, I'm sure you probably could if you asked them, but I wouldn't tamper with this too much. It probably would void its warranty if it has one. But I wish they weren't white, because most people's electronics are not white. So if you're going to be putting this on top of something to maximize its range, you're going to see that it's there. So I actually looked these up, and you can get these on Amazon for $99.99, which is what the Soundpaths are going. So either way, you're spending $100. And they have some pictures of these on top of white subwoofers. So they boast about hiding wires and cables in their description. That's cool and all, but your cables and your wires are black, and your receiver and transmitter is white. So you're gonna see the wires because they're contrasting against each other, and you're gonna see the two blocks that you're gonna be using because they're sitting on top of most likely something that's not white. So that's just something to note. If you're really worried about hiding these, you probably can. If you're gonna put them in plain sight, you're gonna see them sitting right there. This blue light though is not as bright as the SVS. SVS has a small little LED on the front of theirs, but it's super bright and really annoying. This one is a little more dim, but it's a little bit bigger. So it's kind of a lose-lose. It kind of just depends on preference. If you want to cover it up with some tape, you can put some black tape over it and you'll never see them. So it's whatever basically. But honestly guys, I can't pick a winner. It's super hard. The one that's going to be best is going to be depending on what you're going to use it for. So again, I definitely love the Proaudios one, the Dynasty Proaudios. These actually sounded really, really good. And if they got down lower, I wouldn't hear difference in bass. But I heard it. I really did in my fluences. I walked around the room with my eyes closed and I was listening to the song, and I could really hear a difference in the two. I could tell which one I was listening to based off the bass. So if somebody was to plug them up and not tell me which ones I was listening to, I could probably figure it out. It's not a big difference. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna get low bass with both of them, but again, I still feel like these are better for subwoofers than they are for home theater application. Not that they're terrible, but I think it's just easier to use. You already have your left and right already plugged in here, so you're not gonna need a second set of wires or adapter or anything like that. You can plug them straight to powered speakers, no problem. You can set them up with your surround sound. If you're using wireless surround sound, you can set them up that way. So guys, I'm really interested to play with these a little bit more. I'm gonna hold on to these, so when I get my AV processor, I'm gonna hook them up to subwoofers. So we're gonna test its distance, we're gonna test them behind the wall, and we're gonna test them with my SVS subwoofers, and we're gonna see if they really hold out to what they're said to do. So guys, I know it's a long video, but it's a really cool video. Thank you so much, Dynasty Proaudio, for sending these out. They actually contacted me in my comments on my YouTube video and said, hey, I got a product, let me send it to you. So I said, send it on, man, let's get it. So they said that these are better than the SVS Soundpath wireless, and you know guys, they may just be right. So we're gonna test these with the subwoofers in a later video and see how they sound. So again, a longer video, but I feel like it was necessary, guys, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have never heard of these, so it's another option out there for you guys other than just a Soundpath wireless. So I think these are fantastic. I wish they were black. I wish they can be this size, it's fine, but if they were black, it would be a little bit better. But guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I need you to get down in that comment section below and let me know that. Let me know what you guys like about this video. What do you guys think about the Dynasty Proaudio transmitter and receiver, the wireless kit, versus the SVS Soundpath? I know it's hard to hear from YouTube, but do your best to tell me what you guys think about it. I did use my Pro mic, so you should be able to hear a little bit of audio. So let me know what you guys think about that. Would you buy these over the SVS Soundpath wireless? Let me know in the comments down below, and also let me know, what do you guys think about the aesthetics? Does it matter that it's white to you guys? Does it matter that it's larger than SVS? Just let me know these things down below in the comments below. And while you're there, I need you to karate chop that subscribe button. Just karate chop that subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, now's the time to do that. You see what kind of cool things we have going on the channel. And guys, I really appreciate you guys viewing. So be safe out there, have a good start to the week, and we will see you in the next video. Kpaceguy out.